Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back. I'm Mr. Albrecht, and this is going to be Skills Unit 3, Lesson 3. Okay, boys and girls, so what you're going to need today is your individual code chart and that green crayon, because we are going to add a new long A sound. Okay? All right, so our learning target is to be able to read words with that different A spelling sound that we've been working with all week, okay? So I can chain words with this A spelling because we're going to be looking at some chaining, and we're going to really think about how does this A sound affect our words when we change the beginning and the end. All right, so just a little bit of review. We've covered the AI as in weight, and remember we had a semi-large power bar there. Also could be a little bit little, just depending on how you look at it. But we saw a lot of our AI words flying up to our tree, didn't we? So that tells me that we do see quite a few of these to make that A sound. We also covered our AY spelling to make this A sound. And so we've got these colored in. We're ready to roll with some other ones. And we're going to look at a new one today. We're going to look at this A all by itself that makes this A sound. And this is the one I think I referred to it a couple lessons ago about being a little bit more tricky to find in some words. Let's grab our individual code charts, and we're going to look at the new long A sound that we're making, and that is made with the long A all by itself. This is a very strong A, and you'll notice even in our power bar, it is quite a strong power bar. The trick with this strong A is to know when you have it in a word. It's not as easy to spot as the AI or even the AY. So when we look and divide these syllables up, we're going to divide them right between that A and that P. And so when we say pay, that is an open syllable. That's your first syllable. We end that syllable with the vowel sound. Pay, you hear the A sound, and then we're going to close off that word with per, paper. And because this E is here, it is not a separated digraph, okay? This E is an R-controlled E. So we got to think about that R-controlled vowel. So if we were to color this, this would be blue, right? So we have to kind of keep that in mind as we look at this word paper. Now let's grab our paper individual code charts and take a look along the line and see where do we see that A sound right there. We're going to look, and it's actually the second box that we're going to take our green crayon or highlighter, whatever you're choosing to use on your individual code chart, go around the edge of that so we know we've marked this one off, that we can understand now that this A with this big power bar, it's not all the way across, but it's pretty big. Notice it may even be our biggest long A sound card that we have. So now we've got that filled in. We now know we're looking for this A in multiple syllable words standing all by itself. All right, so we're going to take a look at our spelling tree that has the A sound on it, and we're going to try to hang some leaves up that have this A by itself. All right, so the first word we're going to look at is caper, okay? Sounds like paper, right? Caper is like a mystery, so you might read a caper story, and so that would be a mystery. So if we look at that word, again, we're thinking about that open syllable, that long A made with the A in the first syllable. We're going to land it on the tree right over here because of the long A all by itself, as our words were like paper and acorn that we had before. So we'll put that leaf on the tree for caper. The next word is basic. If something's very simple, it's basic. So again, open syllable, very beginning, B-A, bay, and then sick. I'm going to put that same branch. Radar, something you might see on the weather radar, right? You're looking at the clouds and the rain coming in. Again, over here on our long A by itself. Raven, big black bird you see outside a lot of times. We're going to put that on the same branch. Wager, making a wager meaning you're putting some money down on something that you think is going to happen. Wager. The word David, which is a name, hence it is capitalized, right? So on our leaf, I make sure to capitalize that because that's a name, it's a proper noun that has the capitalized because it's a name, right? It has to be capitalized. So we're going to put that on our leaf, but again, it does still have that long A sound made with the individual by itself, strong A in the first syllable. So it's also going to go on this branch. We have the word laser, and that is like a laser beam. So we see laser as an open syllable, long A goes on this branch. Here's that word acorn. I think we had it on our tree, but look at it now. If we separate that, knowing that this A is a separate syllable, it is open. That A is all by itself, acorn, and that's going to go on the same branch. And the same thing with agent. Somebody that represents somebody else is an agent to represent them, and that is A, long A over by itself. So you can see quite a while that we have here a lot of leaves, okay, on our tree, matching that big power bar we saw on our sound card. Don't forget, we still have some odd ducks sitting down here just quacking away. All right, so we're going to start with doing a little bit of chaining. So I want you to go ahead and grab a piece of paper or a pencil, maybe even if you have a dry erase board nearby that you can write these words down, because I'm going to give you some clues on how to change the words, and we're going to remember how they chain through, okay? So grabbing the paper, pencil, and let's go. All right, so I want you to write the word rain, okay? The word rain, R-A-I-N. So we're practicing that AI sound with this chain. Now I want you to change the beginning sound, okay? Change that beginning sound to br, not r, not r, but br, okay? And what do you get? Brain. So all we really had to do in that case is we changed the beginning sound from r to br, and we had to add that B in front of brain. Now I want you to change the br sound to gr. Br to gr. What are you going to get? Keeping that vowel sound, keep that A, and keep the N sound as n. And you should get grain. So we went from rain, brain, grain, just by changing the beginning sounds. Okay? So now take away the R sound, that R mixed with the G, and then see what you get. All right, I bet you got gain. We went from rain, brain, grain, and now we have gain. All right, so now change the beginning G to M. The beginning G to M. So I'm testing you. Think about those sounds, okay? That's what we're looking at when we chain words. We're really listening to the sounds of the letters. So from G to M, you're going to get main, right? Main. All right, now change the beginning sound from M to P. M to P. What are you going to get? Pain. Notice in all of those words so far, we've kept the same vowel sound, that long A made with the AI, but we're just playing with the beginning and ending sounds. And actually, in those, really just the beginning. So what if we started changing a little bit and playing around with the ending sound? So now I want you to take pain and add the T sound onto that at the end. What are you going to get? Paint, right? We kept everything the same, and now we added the T sound on, so we have paint. All right, now let's go back and change the beginning sound on that one. So go from P to S, P to S, and we're going to have the word saint, saint. Now, last one on this one, we're going to change that S sound to T, S, to T, and we're going to get taint. If something gets messed up, it might be tainted. We say that in the past tense, tainted with. Don't taint with it. Don't mess with that, okay? All right, good job. All right, so clear your boards, and let's start a new one, okay? So now we've chained the AI sound. Let's chain the AY sound and have a little fun with that one. I want you to go ahead and write the word hay, H-A-Y, like what the horses eat, not the one I was waving at, but A-Y, H-A-Y. And I want you in that next to it, I want you to change the beginning sound from h to h to And what are you going to get? May, may. Okay? Now, change the to w, to w. All right, beginning sound is all you're changing. You're keeping the A sound made with the AY. You're going to end up with way. Okay, good. I know you're getting these. Now we're going to change the w to b, w to b. And what are you going to get? Bay, right? So now again, keeping in mind, we're not changing the A sound, just paying attention to the beginning sound. So now change the b to l, b to l. What are we going to get now? We're going to get lay, aren't we? Lay. So again, notice we're just changing that beginning sound. So now let's take the L and add the KL sound, and we get clay. All right, good job. So now let's take the C in clay and change that to SL. Okay, so we're going from KL to SL, KL to SL, keeping that long A. What are we gonna get? Sleigh. All right, so let's change the SL to ST, SL to ST. Okay, so think about the sounds you hear, and you're gonna end up with ST, A, stay. All right, next change I want you to make is from ST to SW. So listen to that one, ST to SW. Now continue that. If you think about saying the sound I'm giving you and then adding the A made with the AY, you should easily get sway, sway. All right? Last word in this one is now I want you just to take and drop off the W. Drop off the W. What are you going to get? Say, right? So all we're doing there was changing the beginning sound. So what is that telling you about this AY? Look at this chain. This is one of the best ways to see where does this AY mostly appear when we write. If you said at the end of our words, you're starting to pick up on this AY, and when you go to spell words and you hear that A at the end of a word, you're gonna say, hey, that's AY. I'm gonna spell that with an AY. So that's one of the clues we wanna be looking for. All right, boys and girls, let's stop and get some wiggles out because we've been working really hard on these chains and we still got 2 more to do. So we're gonna keep on going through them. But before we do that, let's stand up around our chair someplace that you have places and to stand, an area to move. And the first thing we're gonna do is just stand there and make a face. You can make any face you want. I just might kind of cringe around like, you know, whatever gets that facial muscles moving a little bit to kind of help, because you've been staring at the computer screen and maybe looking down at your paper and writing. So maybe even a good smile and maybe a little frown and a smile and a frown, whatever works to help get those muscles moving in your face. We're gonna make a face. Notice the long A and the long A here. And what about this one? Oh, that's a short A, right? Make a face. So we got a little bit different there going on. All right, so start shaking. So notice we have an R-controlled A here, and we have that long A there where we dropped the E and added ing. So we're shaking. You might even just kind of like wiggle, 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 and stop. And so now let's see. Oh, act like you're skating. Well, it says skating, and there is skating, like ice skating. There's roller skating. There's ski skating. Right? So we think about, I think ski skating they call skiing. So we'll just stick with roller skating maybe would be safe. And so in your roller skating, you kind of go back and forth. Your legs go out right and left a little bit to kind of keep your momentum going. And you might pump your arms back and forth. And if you're a speed skater, you're going down like this and you're kind of pumping your arms. So that's kind of something good that you could do to get movement out. Okay? What about start waving? Just wave, right? Something like I do at the end of our time together, a wave, or maybe a wave like this just to get my wrists going, right? Maybe if you wave with one hand, you wave with the other hand, you can wave to each other hand. And so just to kind of get those wrists moving a little bit because they've been working hard and they've still got some more work to do. All right, so let's sit down. Let's get these last 2 chains out because these 2 are gonna be a little bit more tricky and we're gonna have to pay really close attention to what we're asking you to do, okay? And pay close attention to what's changing in our chaining words. All right, so for this one, on your paper or your dry erase board, I want you to write the word aid, A-I-D. Pretty simple word at the beginning. We're thinking about this long A now being made with an A-I. But this time, when you write the next word, I want you to add a sound. I want you to add it at the beginning, and I want you to add the P sound. Add P. What are you gonna get? Paid. Notice the P is in red. That's what's changed. That's what we added. P, paid. All right, now change the ending sound. Let's keep the beginning and the middle and change the ending sound from D to N. D to N. We get pain, right? Everything stayed the same. All we did was change the end. Now let's change the beginning and let's go from P to R, P to R. What do we get? Rain. And that word you should be familiar with. We've been seeing that one. We're noticing that long A sound, again, made with the AI sound. Now, let's take and add a D sound to rain. So we went from aid to paid, pay to pain, pain to rain, and now we're going to add a D sound to the beginning of rain. What are we going to get? Drain. Absolutely. Good job. All right, so we're going to take drain and change the beginning sound from D to T, D to T, and we're going to get train. Heard a lot of those. All right, now what if we drop the T? Where are we back at? We're back at rain, right? We drop the T, we come back to rain. So we're going to start building up again. From there, now, actually, let's decide to take away something. What if I made my A sound to an A? What would happen? What goes away? Think about that. I'm going to keep my beginning and ending sounds, but I'm going to change the vowel sound in the middle. If you wrote ran, you're right, because now I took away the I, which was making that A long, and now it's short. It's in between two consonants, okay? So let's add it back in. Let's go back and add that I, and we're back at rain. So we just wanted to show you that if we take that I away, it goes to short vowel. Now let's go and see if we change the A sound. Think about this word, because I'm going to tell you now. This time I'm going to give you the word. I want you to write it, okay? So write the word ray. Did you write it? All right, check it here. Look what changed, because I didn't want you to get tricked up on that. Because you might have said R-A-I. I don't want you to forget what we were talking about before is this A-Y appears at the end of our words, okay? So we have R-A-Y as in ray. Now what if I change the beginning sound on that one from R to S, R to S? You're gonna get say, okay? So all we did there is we changed the beginning sound, and we could keep going, right? We could keep changing that and just keep on writing words the rest of the afternoon. But go back to the beginning, erase all what you had. Beginning is aid, okay? That's exactly where we started at before. And we're gonna continue a little bit almost on the same track. I want you to go ahead and add the P sound, because you're like, Mr. Robert, I already did this one. Just bear with me, okay? Add the P sound, and you're gonna get paid, right? All right, now, again, I'm gonna try to tell you here, to make the long A disappear and make it a short A. What are you gonna do? I heard you. You're gonna get pad, and you're just dropping that I. You kept the beginning and the ending sound, but once you take that I away, it goes from long A to short A, okay? All right, put that I back in there, come back, and now we have paid again. So we've kind of moved off back to paid. Now, change from the vowel sound, it's gonna stay the same, but change the ending sound and drop that D. So I didn't tell you this time, so be careful. Did you write pay? That's right, because I dropped the D, you would have had pay. There's no consonant sound at the end, so my vowel team had to change. It had to be an AY and not an AI. So I didn't want to, trying to make sure you're paying attention. All right, let's take pay and change the beginning sound to S, from P to S. All right, now we have say, because remember I didn't say to change the ending sound, did I? I said change the beginning sound. So if you did that right, you ended up with S-A-Y, okay? We went from pay to say. Now, change it from say to pay. You're gonna get the same spelling, right? All we're doing is changing that beginning sound, all right? Now, change P to pr, P to pr. So listen carefully. What new letter am I hearing at the beginning of my word? P to pr. Okay, if you spelled it P-R-A-Y, you've added the word pray to your list. All right, now let's change that beginning sound pr to pl. Pr to pl. Didn't change the vowel sound, did I? Did not say change the A sound. So that's still sitting at the end. So what should it be? P-L-A-Y, play. Good. I can't trick you today. All right, so now we're going to change the ending sound. We're going to change the ending sound. We're going to keep the beginning. We're going to change the ending sound. So if I'm changing the ending sound, think carefully before you write this next word. I want you to change the ending sound by adding the n. So it's going to be, I'll give you the word, and I want you to spell it. Plain. Pl-a-n, plain. So now think, is that A sound at the end? No, we hear it closed off by a consonant sound, but we do hear a long A in the word plain, so we're going to see it as P-L-A consonant E. We're separating that digraph of that A-E to get that long A. Now, we're going to use another word. We're going to spell plain a different way using a different long A spelling. What's that going to look like? Now, if I say plain, but don't spell it this way, you still have the beginning sound as PL. Your ending sound is still N, but what happens? The AI goes into the middle. And now we have plain as in a flying plane, and plain as in it's just plain white or black or whatever. There's no pattern to it, okay? All right, boys and girls, you have worked really, really hard today on these chainings. So hopefully you are able now to say that you can get more practice and read these long A words that have that sound. You can chain words that have that sound, and you're becoming experts on using the long A spelling patterns. So this has been Unit 3, Lesson 3, and this is Mr. Albrecht, and I look forward to working with you next time. Bye-bye.